nossa série de ensinamentos MaGrav, chegamos ao ponto em que nos damos conta de que temos pego as migalhas de alguns volts, em vez de irmos para o bolo, o conhecimento do universo, o conhecimento de nossa alma. Ele diz que cientificamente não há muito nisso. Isso significa que não vamos encontrar isto através do intelecto, reunindo mais conceitos. Não é para dizer que o pensamento não é importante. Através de nossos pensamentos, chegamos ao ponto em que estamos hoje. Se você notou que nesta série MaGrav nós nunca nos concentramos em obter eletricidade. Fomos educados para reunir conceitos e, ao repetir as palavras de outras pessoas, eles nos elogiaram e nos chamaram de inteligentes. Agora o Sr. Keshe nos atinge com um grande choque. Como aceitamos a verdade sobre nós mesmos, não sendo capazes de entender o que eu chamo a realidade? Então, como converter isto em compreensão da totalidade? Este é o marco zero, o ponto de partida. Mas será que tenho a coragem de sair do rebanho e admitir para mim mesmo a verdade sobre tudo que me foi ensinado a acreditar? Se conseguimos fazer isso, então poderemos facilmente passar para a próxima etapa do treinamento, abrindo para os campos do universo, o plasma, sentindo os campos magnéticos e gravitacionais dos quais fazemos parte e que se tornou nós. A maneira como o nosso corpo é construído, o cérebro se tornou um ponto de interferência do estado da matéria entre as emoções criadas pela alma do homem e a alma da fisicalidade. Ele deu exemplos de onde, desconhecidos para nós, não precisamos do cérebro para mediar essas emoções. Na verdade, é um grande problema para nós. Temos que aprender a trabalhar com o plasma. Ele nos pediu para começarmos a nos treinar para compreender a força do campo das emoções e ver se podemos não fisicamente, mas na força dos campos, criar ou replicar novamente essa emoção. Devemos desenvolver esta habilidade e ser bons nisso, e entender como podemos interagir com ela em nossas vidas para nos tornarmos bons doadores e não tomadores. É aqui que entra o MaGrav. Ele disse: o único lugar onde você encontrará esta interação dos campos é usando os sistemas MaGrav e compreendendo os campos que eles criam. Entenda como você fez seu MaGrav e qual é a conexão entre os diferentes campos de força criados pelo MaGrav. O MaGrav torna-se seu verdadeiro gerador para a elevação da alma, para a interação das almas, entre você, sua alma da fisicalidade e a alma do homem. Não é para sentar-se no MaGrav, mas para entender como estender os campos dele para interagir com a emoção certa. Você pode usar sua alma como quarto reator para criar uma formação estelar com seu MaGrav. Ao experimentar e trabalhar com seu MaGrav de uma maneira relaxada e amorosa, isso abrirá a porta para a elevação da alma. Você procurou o que sai do fio, eu lhe dei o que sai do universo. Será que você precisa conectar seu MaGrav a uma fonte de energia de estado material terrestre? E se você conectá-lo a uma fonte de energia plasmática, que carrega a emoção de todos, então você verá o avanço no que você estava procurando. Tente procurar a interação das almas ou dos campos de energias, que chamamos de almas. Outra coisa que você pode fazer é usar fones de ouvido estéreo, onde cada lado é conectado independentemente à fonte do som. Em seguida, coloque 2 MaGravs em ambos os lados de seus ouvidos. Como os campos interagem um com o outro, eles se cruzarão no ponto da alma do homem. Tente ouvir os sons com sua alma e não com os ouvidos físicos. Agora muitos de vocês se moverão muito rápido, e um grande número de buscadores de conhecimento se unirão à comunidade universal, compreendendo o processo de funcionamento da alma. O MaGrav é configurado para elevar a alma do homem. Entendam que cada ensino foi intencionalmente estabelecido passo a passo para que vocês possam entender e encontrar a alma do homem. Porque é o momento da manifestação de Mete. É a hora do esclarecimento de Mete para ser a alma de vocês e a sua compreensão da criação, e nada mais. Somos professores universais e ensinamos através da alma com a voz do homem. Os ensinamentos são os mesmos para a pilha dos 5 copos, copo da alma, copo do universo, copo da vida, qualquer que sejam os nomes deles. Portanto, se você não tiver um sistema de bobina MaGrav, Você pode até mesmo usar o seu copo da vida, mas tente realmente colocar sua alma e seu amor dentro desse copo. Faça isso com pura sinceridade para servir e não para ser egoísta, pensando no que eu posso ganhar com isso. E assim você verá a elevação de sua alma. MaGrav não é apenas um dispositivo ou máquina. Significa campos magnéticos e gravitacionais plasmáticos. Diariamente, os buscadores de conhecimento do Brasil se reúnem em silêncio pela intenção de elevar a alma dos negociadores do 5+1 pela paz mundial. Fazer parte deste grupo é um MaGrav extremamente poderoso, e muitas pessoas sentem o poder do plasma fluindo através delas. Esta é outra opção para encontrar sua alma. Todos esses ensinamentos foram estabelecidos para que você esteja pronto para a manifestação e declaração de Meth no dia 22 de fevereiro. E então descobriremos para onde o homem deve ir. Assista este vídeo muitas vezes, compreenda e compartilhe ele. Muito obrigado.
Scientifically, there is not much to it. Reality is man has to understand the new system. Man has to understand the totality of the whole process. What it'll come to us to understand is to be able to have the knowledge to transfer, to reduce, to increase magnetic field strength within our knowledge. And how we can change things by intention, by the fields of emotion. What do we feel? How do we feel? And how we can create that condition to be able to do it, that it creates the illusion of completion, achievement. And how do we accept the truth about us not being able to understand the what I call the reality? And then how do we convert this into understanding of totality? How do we go into the depth of the knowledge? How do we create answers which are in the strength of the fields or near the fields of the soul of the man? Our body does that in our brain. Creates one element, and with different positioning of this element creates different emotion understanding between the soul of physicality and soul of the man. And we understand how much and to what extent we can evolve in understanding of the knowledge of the creation that allows us to come to that point. We were not born as physicians or scientists, as a baker or whatever. We took time, we learned, we spent time in understanding. And now is with a new knowledge of plasma, we are in that process. We have to learn it. We have to understand it. We have to feel it. I'm trying to find a way to open your eyes in a way, your understanding. In a way, how can you get in touch, or how can you work without the interference of the matter state of the brain between the soul of physicality and soul of the man? How do we extend the knowledge of our own understanding, of our own creation? The only way, the first steps for us to be able to start this process is try inside us to understand the field strength which creates different emotions. And try to see if not physically, but in the strength of the field, we can replicate or create that emotion again. And how good we become in creating this emotion. And build it up and develop it. That we can repeat it and slowly to go from one to another and understand how we can interact it, and then how we learn to be a giver, not taker. When you start this process, always understand in your systems, in your emotion, you have to go one level higher. That you build from the law and you understand how to handle these interactions. It takes time for many of you to break through that point, to break through that pain. And the only place you'll find this interaction of the fields is by use of the MaGrav systems. By understanding the fields they create, how you have made your MaGrav, what is the connection of different strength of the fields which the MaGrav system produces, and that now becomes your true generator for elevation of the soul, for interaction of the souls between you, your soul of physicality, and the soul of the man. It is not to sit on the MaGrav. It's to understand how to extend the fields of it to interact with the right emotion. Very much. It'll come to the point that many of you, for the first time, will start understanding the purpose of the MaGrav systems which we gave you, we taught you. As I said, we gave you the cake, you looked for the crumbs. Now maybe it's time for you to find the cake, the beauty of it, to understand it. How would it work if you position your MaGrav in certain positions? I've seen from the beginning of the creation of MaGravs, you all put your MaGravs vertically up. You're interacting the three fields. What I have not seen from any of you is, what about you have the MaGrav in this position, where your coils are positioned this way? What happened if you position yourself between these two? And what happened when you position yourself in these two? The greed of the man to get the maximum to see something was easy to give. What happens when you have an animal sitting on the other side of the MaGrav, and you move to this position, and you, by the soul of giving, I love you so much, that the animal comes to you without a word. You move to this position, and you tell the animal, you put something there, you're in danger. Animal moves his position because of the love you've given from the danger. If you create your MaGrav coils in a different strength, that in a way you create your star formation with your soul. Now you understand the beauty of the technology I gave you. You looked what comes out of the wire. I gave you what comes out of the universe. The biggest question is, do you need to connect your MaGravs to a power supply? To the earthly matter state power supply. Because then the intention of will become different. What about if you connect to the plasmatic power supply, which carries the emotion of all? Then you will see the breakthrough in what you're looking for. But still, the intention has to be correct. The understanding has to be correct. Are you looking for the interaction of the souls or the fields of energies we call souls? Or are you looking for interaction of the physicality with the soul? Or are you looking just for interaction of the physicality? If you look for interaction of the physicality, you might create yourself new materials. This is what the true MaGrav system has been given to you for from the beginning. This is what has been set for to understand. Many of you created what we call the MaGrav systems, and you put them in what I call a star formation, and sometimes you got something. Some of you moved inside it and said, oh, I feel this, oh, I feel that. Now maybe I explain to you exactly what you've done to yourself. This is you as a soul. Forget about the rest of your physicality. Blonde, blue, white, doesn't matter. But look at how you interacted with different layers, different fields. If you're in the base, you have the contact in the same. And then what about the one above you? You had to deal with totality. You looked for the fields of what is. The field is actually between the layers of the quartz. You've seen this, and you created these. We've seen in the intro, we see Dr. Klaus with Caroline Priller in the machine with those coils. But you never understood the reality of it. You went for facing the coils where the field sits in position of the field of the quartz. And if by accident, the height of the chair, the position of the MaGrav system, the position of the coil, the position of the dynamic system was right with the soul, you got something, and then you can't repeat again because you never understood the principle behind it. But still, many of you will try this because now I've given you a new game, but you will not succeed because you have not understood what is behind this. This is understanding the totality of the knowledge. And if you understood from the beginning, if some of you understood when we taught you about the universal curves, where the top of the stacker is the soul, do you have anything but 3 coil winding? The systems were set from the beginning to reach, but you have missed it. And your present coils will not do that because you have not done it the right way. Now you have to learn how to make your coils. I'm sure many of you will inch position every single of your MaGrav systems and the rest of it. But what have you done? What have you created? What did you put in that you can bring that synchronization? Then you will understand a big, big factor. The intention of the making gives you the intention of baking. Now you understand. When I tell you, you took the crumb. You literally took the crumb and you missed the cake. Now you tell me, why couldn't I teach you this 5, 6, 7 years ago? Because you were not ready. The soul of mankind was not ready to go through that phase. The evolution comes from understanding and intellect, not from copying and replicating. I promise you, a lot of you are just moving in there. I'm going to move my star formation. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find my soul. I'm going to do this. But go back to one of the very, very first teachings. Then you understand my teachings has had always fundamental basis set out from the beginning. You missed it. Go back to one of the first teachings. I told you very simply, this is your head, this is your 2 ears. Get yourself a headphone and find where you hear the music in the soul and not with the ear. This is how, in the very early teachings, I explained this and nobody understood. Now maybe you understand the game. Checkmate. Now you understand how you went for the cross. Even if you understood what the cake I have given you. Now, many of you will move very fast, and a large number of knowledge seekers will join the universal community by understanding the process of the soul working. We still be building the MaGravs, but in a different way, with a different light, with different understanding. The stereo system was your physical dimension. MaGravs is set to elevate the soul of the man. But I promise you, you still have not got it, because you will not reach that point, because part of the knowledge is missing, because you did not listen from the beginning. Now you see how the teachings has been set over 10 years, 20 years to bring you to understand. Little bits by little bits. Buy yourself that stereo system and find where you hear the noise inside you, not from the dimension of physicality of your ears. Then use the same MaGrav system and see if you can transfer the emotion through the same system at the point of the soul. I am the creator. I am the messenger, the Meti, and I teach you for man to know where to go. But with science, not with hullabaloo, not with the false information, with exactly why everything has been put. When I taught you to make the cup of universe, have a look at the cups of universe and understand in which level you want to interact your soul with. And you listen to a bunch of what are called enemies of the man to destroy your cups, because they didn't want you to get this knowledge. They knew they lose control, and once they lose, they cannot abuse your children. They cannot abuse the children of the man. Those who told you to destroy your cups are what you in your language call the true children of the devil. Those who did not want to see the progress of man. Those who sell their own children into the child abuse, their own blood. Because in teaching you the reality and how to do it, they could not abuse you. They've used your soul and your physicality for thousands of years. Now you have the freedom. Now you understand. Go back to the cup of universe, the cup of man, and whatever. What did I give you? 3 calls. Is that any different? And how here you're connected to the matter state where we open you into the liquid, near enough to the plasma, that how fast you could reach that point. To understand your emotions, to be able to elevate the man from the direction of what we call elevation of the soul. You have to understand. Every teaching we've done, step by step, is according to the teaching of the universe, according to the knowledge which is there to promote the soul of the man, to promote the knowledge of the man, but for man to understand it and not to accept it just because. New knowledge seekers have access to all the teaching in the background. Go and find the teaching about the soul. Go and find the teaching about the stereo system that I taught you years ago. That was for you to find the position of the soul. This is how I even explain the position of the soul of Naomi from the MRI which we presented. To the doctors, it's nothing, it's just a doctor. To us, it's that black hole of the life, the existence, the essence of the creation, the position and the place of the soul of the man. You cannot melt the ice and drink it if you're using frozen water. You have to understand the knowledge. You have to understand the true essence of the knowledge in the dimension of the fields and not dimension of physicality. You have to understand, when I told you for past years, I gave you the cake and you took the crumb for a few words. I wonder what your knowledge seekers will come up with the new understanding. I wonder how many of you will come with a new totality of the condition of comprehending the knowledge of creation in the upcoming times. Those of you who stuck yourself with the devil, you paid, and you will pay for it, and you will soon understand. Devil are those who keep man from learning to become free, and ask you to destroy your systems, because systems are the key to your freedom. Now you understand why. Key to understanding how to elevate the soul of the man, which man moves away from the dimension of physicality. If you understood in a very, very simple way, when we gave you the cup number 1 in the stacker unit, we gave you the key, we gave you the opening to the secret of the creation of the interaction of the soul of the man and the elevation of the soul of the man. Why do you need to make a cup of soul when you have no use for it? I stood in the design center in Linz, and our dearest friend, knowledge seeker Herbert, made a stacker unit with 3 universal units, with all the 5 sets, with everything precisely done. And some people felt something, some people didn't feel something, because his stand was too low. If your height managed to reach the level of the soul cups, you might have felt something. And the others, you just went in and out, you might have felt something with what we call dimension of physicality. Our teaching is a progressive teaching that you understand step by step, and you spend enough time in the lab to learn. And now it's time to move on, because it's the time for manifestation of the Mehdi. It's time for clarification of the Mehdi to be the soul of you and your understanding of the creation, and nothing else. We are universal teachers, and we teach through the soul, with the voice of the man. Now go and destroy your cups, and you see how much you have destroyed the knowledge of understanding the world of creation. Sleep with the devil, you pay the devilish way. Try to understand, and I ask you, please try to understand what you create. And not just jump into bring and make coils and cups and try to see if I fit in and what I feel. Your soul will not allow it, as is aware of the knowledge of what you're looking. Enter these environments with the pure sincerity to serve, and not to be selfish for that gain from it. And you will see the elevation. As I wrote to one of our knowledge seekers yesterday, we are at the crucial point in research and development, and our research needs the support of the soul and understanding of the souls of the knowledge, and nothing more, nothing less. But we have to create these conditions that we can become aware. What we teach you here, you have seen it in the construction of the flight system. We done nothing else. Just we know how to manipulate the fields, how to manipulate the existence of the fields for what purpose. Create the right system and ask your friends and family to watch you to be in the center of it. And you wish the promise or the wish that I'm going to be with you to give you all the pleasures of life. And ask them to see if they see you, and how they see you, and in what colors they observe you. Then you understand you have managed to achieve the understanding of interaction of the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. Try to understand the first part of the teaching of today. The exchange of the matter state observation from copper to zinc by addition of just some more plasma fields, nothing else. Then you will understand how you transform from the soul of physicality and interaction to the soul of the man, and nothing else but your MaGrav systems, and understanding the totality of the teaching of the cups of lives, all 5 of them. Study them, just don't copy them. You copy them, you see nothing. Study them, you develop new ways to understand the process of the creation. You have to be clear enough and understand this knowledge with clarity that you become part of it, and it becomes part of you. Then it doesn't become magic, but it becomes the process of understanding. You just need to interact with the field of your MaGravs. Understand the fields of your MaGravs. And understand the fields of what is the fields of the souls and what is the field of inertia, where you want to be manifested in the matter state of manifestation. It's you in the essence of the field which creates the fields of inertia or manifestation. Nobody else. It's you who decides if you want to manifest yourself as a fish or as a man or a stone. I hope today's teaching has brought a large number of parts of the teachings of 419 times in a way together for you to be ready for manifestation, declaration of Mehdi on 22nd. And then you'll find out where the man shall go. Then the man will sit, where the man will dictate the position and the place of the man to be. Now you understand. And I repeat again. If you look at it, and I looked at this many times and I said to myself, shall I tell them? Shall I not? I gave you a beautiful cake. And I even cut it for you. And you went for the box of the cake, which was hollow. Just fields in one direction. Where he had his feet with the earth. Now, understand this cake, and you decide how you want to cut it and what you expect from it. Then understand how much you missed and how stupidly you destroyed your cups of universe, where each one was one step more advanced. Each one with its own knowledge, with its own technology, depending on what you wanted to elevate.